Hey guys, how are you? So I wanted to respond to some things that I've been seeing on Twitter, and I just want to be very clear, just because I think that there's some stuff that needs to be clarified. I've tried in the past to be clear, but sometimes people don't always report and write what you say, and I've kind of just put my hands up, but now we have this great community here, so I can just be straightforward with you. I'm sorry, I've got like my crazy hair. So there's been some questions about where I'm born. I'm born in Boston. And then I spent some of my childhood in Boston, some of my childhood in Spain. My family, my brother, my parents, my nephew, everybody is over there in Spain. Now I'm here. And so there was like a lot of back and forth my entire life, and I'm really lucky that I grew up speaking 2 languages, and I'm trying to raise my kids so that they speak 2 languages too. And that's something that's very important for me, especially having my family abroad. So that was one thing. I think people ask sometimes about how I speak. I am that person that if I've been speaking a lot of Spanish, I tend to mix them, and if I'm speaking more English, or doing a lot of English, then I mix that. It's one of those things that's always been I've been a little insecure about over different times. And, when I try to work, I try to enunciate a little bit more. But if I get nervous or upset or something, then I start to mix the two. And again, that's just something that I've always been a little bit insecure about, but I've decided maybe 2021, we will get over that. And I'm definitely addressing it very openly right now with that insecurity. But this idea that I try to speak more clearly in each language. I think that that's something that I should try to do. And, but sometimes I mess it up, but it's not something that I'm like playing at. So I want that to be very, very, very clear. And then, my name. So when I was growing up, and in this country, I would use the name Hillary, and in Spain, I would use the name Hilaria, and my family, like my parents, they call me Hilaria, my whole family call me Hilaria, and it was something that was always kind of like I see other people do it, and it always kind of bothered me that like neither name sounded good in the other language. So I would, use one or the other. When I was a dancer, I would use that. In American high school, I would do that. And then, a handful of years before I met Alec, I decided to consolidate the 2 because it was just like so many documents said so many different things. And at least, like even things like going and picking up a prescription, I'd be like, I don't know what you have on file. So I consolidated and I identify more with Hilaria because that's what my family calls me. And I don't know, but one of the things I love about what my parents call me is that it means happy. It means happy in both languages. I think that we can all be really like clear that it's the same name, just like a few letters different. So I think we shouldn't be so upset about it. And if whatever you guys want to call me, I will respond to both. But literally whatever you guys want. And I feel like those were all the points. Something about our wedding that I have all these people from Spain come over for my wedding. We had 44 people come over, my family, my friends come over, and it was like magical. And ultimately this boils down to this idea where this is a country of a lot of different cultures. And I think that we can be different parts of ourselves with different people. And I'm somebody who I feel really lucky that I grew up with 2 cultures. I grew up speaking 2 languages. I grew up, did I always do it well, through your awkward years and, trying to be more this or be more that. I've said some things about like, oh, she's a white girl. Yes, I am a white girl. And let's be very clear that Europe, has a lot of white people in there, and my family is white. Ethnically, I'm a mix of many, many, many things. Culturally, I grew up with the 2 cultures. So it's really as simple as that. And the reason I wanted to take it so seriously is because these are more, cultural conversations or things that we're having a little bit more and more. And I just want to be very, very clear. And in the past, I would get very frustrated when reporters would report this or report that, or and I'd try to be very clear. And they'd be like, oh, so you were born in Spain. And I was like, all right, let me give you a spoiler alert. You're the only one who knows. And I would be laughing because it was like, anytime I would say it, people just want to label you as something else. And I'm like, I'm born in Boston. It was literally the first thing that I told my husband. And yeah, I'm a different kind of Bostonian, but that's who I am. And you kind of can't change your background, nor would I want to. I'm like really, really proud of who I am and all of my different experiences. And has it made me insecure as everybody over the years? Sure, yeah, I've had my insecurities, but I'm learning that, what makes me unique is also of value to myself, and I can embrace it. And yeah, so for all of those of you who are confused about where I'm from and why I speak two languages. I grew up speaking two languages, and again, my family lives in Spain. And I can't wait to see them after the pandemic. I've been away from them since last September, not this September, but the September before, and I miss them very much. They haven't met the baby. But again, like anybody who's like coming out of the woodwork and like claiming to like know me, I'm sure we do probably know each other of some sort, and I'm sure that, when we're at certain phases, when we're trying to be this way, be cool or be that or whatever, when we grow up, I mean, nobody wants to go back to those years. I'm sure that we all, tried to be our coolest self as we thought at the time. But, as you get older, you kind of just embrace who you are, and you just kind of want to be open about it. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is that this is just who I am and my life story, and it might not fit into your cookie cutter and might not fit into a label, but it's my weird mix of who I am. All right, guys, I hope that cleared anything up. If you want to talk about it more, I'm an open book, and I'm so happy to talk about it.